The best time to be a math scholar is all the time. Hey guys, we are reviewing for the upcoming test. If I see a problem that looks easy enough, we'll probably just do a lot of board buddies today, and then we'll hit record so we can explain how we got the answers, okay? So who's excited for the Tech Friday? Alright, so what I would do, you have to use two rules of exponents to do this problem. First, I would add together the exponents at the top, making it a 7 to the 11th on the top. Then I have my 7 to the second power on the bottom. How's the song go to help me complete this problem?
Bigger minus smaller. Put your answer where the bigger.
Right, bigger minus smaller. So we're going to do 11 minus 2. 11 minus 2 is 9. Put your answer where the bigger lived in the numerator. So it's 7 to the 9th in the numerator. Okay, I think that's fine. I was going to see if I can move it, but we're okay. 7 to the 9th in the numerator. All right. Well, let's just do this one together. Fractions are always weird. We'll do it together. The first thing I would do on this is just distribute the 3 to everybody. So you'll have a 1 to the 3rd. You'll have an 8 to the 3rd. And then you can put the 8 to the 5th in the same fraction with everybody else. I know, that's really weird. Fractions are very strange sometimes. And then I think we can do our same exact sum. Bigger minus smaller, 5 minus 3. Put your answer where the bigger lived on the top. So we okay on that second one? Oh, 1 to the 3rd is just 1, so you don't really even need it anymore. Okay, I'm going to scroll to 3. You don't have a study guide. You're supposed to grab it on the way in. Alright, you want to do this one together and do 4 as board buddies? Yeah. Okay, since it's a fraction. We're going to take the 3 and distribute it in. That's called a power rule. So you do 2 cubed. With the w's, with the w's, the 3 and the 3 multiply to become a 9. I'm going to put everybody in one big giant fraction together. Is that a v down there? It's like this random orphan v. That's so weird. And then also on the bottom, we're going to have our 6 and our w cubed from this original fraction over here. Everybody still with me? Yeah. The random v is just throwing me off, but it's okay. What does 2 cubed equal? 2 times 2 times 2? 8. So you're basically going to be reducing down the fraction 8 over 6. This v is not really going to be able to do anything. What can we do with our w's? Yep, bigger minus smaller. Put the answer up top where the bigger one was. So only thing I would do to finish this off from here is simplify down the fraction 8 over 6. You can divide the 8 and the 6 both by 2. Yeah, but we don't want 1.3 when we want a fraction, so 4/3. So I believe it's 4/3 w to the 6th and a v. Does anybody disagree with that answer? V to the 3rd. Oh, yeah, who said that? You get a ticket. I didn't even notice. I forgot to distribute the 3 to the v way back when. And Austin was just hanging out, not saying anything till the end, but he's going to get a ticket for finding that mistake. We're going to send out board buddies for number 4. I was having a conversation with one group I kind of want to relate to all of you. They thought there was going to need to be some flipping in this. And I understand why they think that, because they see that negative, right? But the whole flip and make it positive, that applies to negative exponents, not negative numbers. And the only negative I'm seeing is a negative 18. So we can't really flip that. A has a positive exponent. B has a positive exponent. We got those exponents by adding. So we're good right there. That's the final answer. Okay? Questions? All right, we are going to number 5. We're going to do this one together. So it's k plus 2 squared to the 8th. The only thing you can do is something with the 2 and the 8. Do you know what that would be? No, just take the 2 times the 8. So just make it a 16 and be done. So 2 times 8, you're done. We're not going to distribute on this one. Because what this actually means, here's why. It's a great question, why. What this actually means is you've got k plus 2 16 times, and we don't have the math skills yet to learn how to distribute that much. You would never want to have to distribute that much. So, what about number 6? What do we think the answer is in number 6? It is 20. Good. You take all the exponents, you add them. Very good. Ken? Keep paying attention. Baseboard if you need to. Number 7. You are allowed to put everybody in one fraction together. We've been doing this. This is probably the 3rd time today alone that we put everybody in one big fraction together. Well, then how do we simplify it further from here? Ken?
Wouldn't it be W to the 4th?
Very good. Bigger minus smaller. Put your answer where the bigger was. All right, enough me talking. Let's get some board buddies for number 8. We're going to talk about how to do this. It was a struggle up here. This 8 and this 4 have to multiply. That's an exponent rule there. A to the 32nd. Here's where people start struggling. 2 and B are separate guys. One group actually made it B squared. That didn't make sense to me. This 2 gets the power of 4, and this B gets the power of 4. But is 2 to the 4th 8? It's not. It's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So it's 16.
I was right.
So let me write out what the actual answer is for everybody at home and everybody in the room.
Thank you.
This is what your final should look like. But I think we learned a lesson. Use your own brain and don't copy off your neighbors. All right, let's do number 9 together. This 4 will distribute to the A and to the B squared. So it'll be A to the 4th over B to the 8th. Same thing here. The squared will go to both the B and the A. Hey, I'm going to put them in the same fraction together, all right? So it'll be B squared and A squared. Why not put them in the same fraction together? We have one step further to clean it up. Does anybody know what it would be? Yeah?
Combine the A.
Now, when you say combine, you want to add them? You want to subtract them because they're up, down. So we're going to subtract our A's. 4 minus 2 equals 2. Put the answer on the top. That's where the bigger one was. Combine your B's. 8 minus 2 is 6. Put the answer down below. So that's your answer number 9. All right, we're definitely getting harder, everybody. Hopefully we can survive this. It's going to be 2 to the negative 2. That negative 2 and that negative 2 will multiply, so it'll be j to the positive 4th. And then that 3 and that negative 2 will multiply, so it'll be h to the negative 6. Now, I don't know if we've seen this yet today, have we? Flip and make it positive. Flip and make it positive. That applies to negative exponents only. You never want a negative exponent in your final answer. So we're going to leave the j where he's at. He doesn't need to do any flipping. We're going to flip the 2, and we're going to flip the h, so that their exponents can be positive. And then, you know, I probably would just write that 2 squared as a 4. So my final answer would be j to the 4th over 4 h to the 6th. Everybody followed that and agreed with that? More importantly, you agreed with that? Make sure my brain is working good today. All right, let's go to 11. This one is not too bad, actually. You know what's going to happen with the z's, right?
Yeah.
0.
They're gone. A 1, technically.
Wait, where? Huh?
Number 11, the z's can cancel flat out.
I think.
What's going to happen with the 5 and the 15? Yeah?
Down to 103.
Good job. It's just reducing a fraction. So just reduce the fraction 5 over 15. You don't want to do any subtracting there. But you can do subtracting with your x's. Bigger minus smaller. What are the x's going to look like? X to the 2nd on the top. And the y's, 9 minus 6. What's that going to look like? Y to the 3rd on the bottom. It's okay if you have the 1 there like I do. If you don't have that 1 there, that's okay too. It's the same thing. This next one is a doozy. Oh my gosh. Number 12. Do you want to know what I'm actually going to do? No. Who said that? Was that Karen? You guys on the video at home didn't hear this, but I said, do you know what I'm going to do? And she goes, skip it. That is not a scholarly thing to do. I really didn't feel like distributing a negative 3 to everybody. You can. You absolutely can, and you can still get to the right answer. But what you could do is you could flip the original fraction upside down, and flipping that original fraction upside down would allow that exponent to become a positive. I mean, the song does go flip and make it positive, right? If you distribute that negative 3 to everybody, go for it. But you'll eventually end up flipping and looking like I'm going to look, okay? Now I'm distributing a positive instead of distributing a negative, and that's just going to be much easier. So it'll be 3 to the third. It'll be x to the 15th. It'll be 2 to the third. And it'll be x to the 6th. I would go ahead and calculate out the 3 to the third. It's 27. I would calculate out 2 to the third. It's 8. And I would subtract my x's. So I'll let you soak that in. Make sure you... All right. We have a student volunteer for 13. What's the answer?
0.
No.
1.
There you go. Pull yourselves together. It's a 1. Anything with a 0 power is a 1. All right. Whew. Throw them a doozy of a day. All right. We can use our calculator on this one. So I'm going to pause the video and pull up my big calculator and get it into Graph World. All right. So I know it's a bit confusing. We've been doing lots of stuff in our calculators recently. But if you're going to be making the graph and making it a table, you're going to want to be in Graph World, not Stat World. So to go to Graph World, it's the y equals button. And that's where you'll be putting the formula in. I put the 1/3 in parentheses just like they have it. And you need to make sure to make the x an exponent. So you have to use that caret key. Everybody's inputting this in their calculator right now, right? Okay. You're going to click graph and you're going to see it. It's exponential decay. And just do the best. Like, I'm not going to grade on whether you're an artist here, but just do your best job at copying what you're seeing onto this paper. I think the y-intercept's way up at 9, so that's off the paper. But it's exponentially shrinking. I definitely want to make sure you've got that asymptote drawn in and that your graph never dips below that axis. If it looks like it does dip below the axis on your calculator, it's just an optical illusion. It doesn't actually dip below the axis. Second graph will give you the table of numbers. So it looks like we're at 81, 27, 9, 3, and 1, I believe. It is decay. Very good. I heard somebody say that. Oh, I'm having trouble writing decay. I'll just circle decay. The asymptote's at y equals 0. That's right there at on the x-axis. The y-intercept's up at 9. It's not showing up on my picture I drew, but it's showing up on my calculator screen. And our last two questions of the day, the hardest questions. Domain and range. Domain is where the graph can travel on the x-axis. Range is where the graph can travel on the y-axis. Anybody have any ideas? Very good. The domain is negative infinity to infinity because it can go everywhere on the x-axis.
Is that an infinity sign?
It is. It's like a sideways 8. Draw an 8 sideways. And then range?
0 to...
Good job. You guys are learning this. I'm proud of you. Once you learn this, you'll have success in Algebra 2. A couple years from now. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for a video. There's no homework. I will keep the study guide for you. If there's even a 1% chance you'll lose it, because I don't have extras. See you tomorrow.